think we can see it's because Jesus isn't just about fixing a problem. He's about restoring a person. Good morning, y'all. Welcome to Coffee with Connect. We get together on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9:30 and we get into God's Word together. We have our coffee and my mug today. It's not a Cedar Point mug. It's actually a Guatemala Starbucks mug that I got in Guatemala back in 2023 when we went on our first missions trip, adult missions trip as a church down to Guatemala. And we're sending 2 more teams this coming Saturday. Team 1 leaves on August 2nd, really early in the morning. So be praying for them. And then I'm part of Team 2 that leaves the following Saturday on August 9th. So be praying as we're going to have 2 straight weeks of teams from Connect Church down in a couple of villages down in Guatemala building houses. So be praying for us as we go to serve and share the love of Jesus. So we're going to be in Mark chapter 7, and we're going to be ending the chapter. We're going to be looking at the last little story in the end of Mark chapter 7. As we're going to be halfway through. We're going through the whole Gospel of Mark, a verse at a time, a little story at a time. And so we're going to pray, read, think, write, and do. So let's read. Hopefully you've prayed. Mark chapter 7, verses 31 through 37 in the NIV. Here's what it says. Then Jesus left the vicinity of Tyre and went through Sidon down to the Sea of Galilee and into the region of the Decapolis. There some people brought to him a man who was deaf and could hardly talk, and they begged Jesus to place his hand on him. After he took him aside, away from the crowd, Jesus put his fingers in the man's ears. Then he spit and touched the man's tongue. He looked up to heaven and with a deep sigh said to him, Ephphatha, which means be opened. At this, the man's ears were opened. His tongue was loosened and he began to speak plainly. And Jesus commanded them not to tell anyone. But the more he did so, the more they kept talking about it. People were overwhelmed with amazement. He had done everything well, they said. He even makes the deaf hear and the mute speak. I know you've been in a position like this. I know I have been as well, where you feel like you just aren't being heard. Like your words weren't getting through. Nobody understood what you were trying to say. Now, imagine you're not able to hear and you're not able to speak. Because that feeling of us feeling like we're invisible and nobody cares what we say or nobody can hear what we're saying is one thing. But this is a reality for this person. And Jesus doesn't just perform some public spectacle here. You probably noticed he took the man aside, away from the crowd. Why did he do that? As I think about this, I think we can see it's because Jesus isn't just about fixing a problem. He's about restoring a person. Touches his ears, touches his tongue, sighs deeply, feeling the weight of this man's suffering. Like that's an interesting detail that was put in there. And then he speaks this single word, which means be opened. And the man can hear and speak plainly, just like that. It's interesting how Jesus, every time he does a miracle, he does it different. And he does something completely different every time that is actually personal to the person that he's ministering to and dealing with. But the thing is, this isn't just physical. Because there's kind of a picture here of what Jesus does for all of us, isn't it? We may not be deaf or mute physically, but a lot of us struggle to hear God's voice clearly, or to speak truth boldly. And a lot of times we're closed off by fear, by being hurt, pain, betrayal, sin, years of disappointment. But Jesus pulls him aside, draws him close, meets him personally, just like he wants to do with us. He comes close, and when he speaks, things change. And the crowd's reaction, right? They're amazed. I said, he does everything well. And it's still true today, right? Jesus does everything well. Because he doesn't just patch things up, like we said earlier. He restores completely. And in a really beautiful way. So what's God saying to you? As you read this, as you think through this story and how maybe the nuances of this apply to you, what can you write down for yourself that can help you as you're moving forward in your walk with Jesus? And maybe you're in a place right now where you're needing him to draw close and to just speak. And so what do we do with that? Pray, read, think, write, do. I wonder if you would be willing to ask Jesus today to open something to you that's been closed. Let's say it that way. Maybe it's your ears. Maybe it's his voice. Maybe it's your mouth to be able to speak encouragement and speak life. Maybe it's your heart to be able to trust. Just, Lord, what has been shut down in me? Lord, restore what's broken. Help me to hear you. Help me to respond to you. I wonder if that kind of honest prayer is what you need to do today. I feel like we need to do that every day because we're sinful, broken people that just are constantly needing restored. And isn't it awesome that Jesus is in the business of taking what's broken and putting it back together? Because he meets us personally and he restores us and he still does everything well. So whatever feels stuck, whatever feels broken, whatever feels silent, just bring it to him. Let him speak the words that you need to hear. Let him just say, be opened. Watch what happens when he restores what you thought was completely lost. So thanks for joining me. And I hope that you'll like the video, you'll subscribe to the channel, and you'll share this with someone that needs it. And join me again here next time so we can have our coffee and connect to Christ, community, purpose, and God's Word together.